Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment would require the Secretary of State to report to Congress on the status and amount of U.S. funding that has been sent to the Board of Peace, an accounting of how those funds have been used, and documentation of any civilian harm occurring at any Board of Peace site funded by U.S. taxpayers. Every day, month after month, we in America are witnesses to and complicit in the horrific genocide in Gaza. The population has been systematically starved, civilian infrastructure has been destroyed, and areas designated as, quote, safe have been bombed. Almost 73,000 Palestinians have been killed, including 20,000 children, and over 170,000 have been injured. Even by Israel's own statistics, which drastically undercount the number of fatalities, the IDF has killed more civilians than combatants. Nearly all Gazans have been displaced from their homes and communities, forced to repeatedly flee to often unsafe and unsanitary conditions. We have also seen the repeated and indiscriminate destruction of civilian infrastructure, including homes, schools, and universities, hospitals, religious sites, and farmland, meaning life in Gaza will never be the same. President Trump promised that he had the solution, and in January of this year, he created his so-called Board of Peace to supposedly oversee the reconstruction of Gaza and work toward a permanent political solution to this conflict. Nearly 6 months later, these promises are still unfulfilled. Palestinian civilians remain displaced without reliable access to food, clean water, medical care, education, or sanitation. And despite the so-called ceasefire put in place 7 months ago, the IDF continues its bombardment of Gaza. Just last month, the IDF killed 119 Palestinians, 30% of whom were either children, women, or the elderly, making May the deadliest month for Palestinians this year. The United States is Israel's largest supplier of arms, providing the government of Israel billions of dollars in military aid. We have been derelict in not applying our own domestic laws to these military shipments and ignoring international humanitarian laws. This makes us complicit in this destruction. We cannot just trust that President Trump's Board of Peace will produce results. We need an actionable plan, an accounting of what U.S. funds are being sent, how they're being spent, to ensure the human rights of Palestinians are respected, and that we never have another inhumane aid distribution system like we saw with the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. In February, the U.S. reportedly pledged $1 billion in taxpayer funds to the Board of Peace, but recent reporting has confirmed that the board's account, managed by the World Bank, has $0 in it. That's right, zero. Supposedly, money has been deposited into a separate private J.P. Morgan account with absolutely no transparency. When asked about funding for the Board of Peace in front of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Secretary Rubio could provide hardly any details about the board's funding scheme and its strategy to fund reconstruction and promote durable peace. As Donald Trump repeatedly squanders American taxpayer dollars to further his own interests, whether it's through funding for his ridiculous ballroom or his $1.8 billion cop beaters slush fund, it is clear that congressional oversight is necessary. The American taxpayers and the people of Gaza deserve to know how this Board of Peace is being funded and where its money is going. I urge my colleagues to vote yes, and I yield back.